I went to a press conference over at Roc Nation headquarters, which is up on 26th Street on the west side, with Jay-Z and Commissioner Goodell. It was actually a really interesting room. There were about 30 journalists from ABC and NBC and, a non-traditional media as well. Undefeated was there, and Charlemagne from 105.1 and Angie Martinez, they were there to talk about this new initiative that Jay-Z and the NFL have entered in. Now, primarily, it's about music. It's about helping program the Super Bowl and other major events that the NFL is going to be involved in. And if you need a good partner for music and major events, Roc Nation's a good one to be a part of. The second part of this initiative is the one that's more interesting, and probably more controversial because Roc Nation is partnering with the NFL on their social change initiatives that have been going on for a couple of years now. But it gets controversial because people keep wanting to throw Colin Kaepernick into this. Yep. Now, I was at this meeting, and I think this is a great thing. I think the NFL has had a little bit of a black eye regarding Colin Kaepernick nationally. Definitely in pockets, it's really black. But nationally, it's been a little bit of a black eye because it won't go away, even though Colin Kaepernick has created a discussion that's been ongoing and elevated for 3 years. Man, it's amazing what Cap did. When you think about like the NFL, this is from because I know what my perspective is on this, what Colin Kaepernick's stance brought to the NFL and what it has done downstream really across this country. Do you see it as a positive, or do you see it still in some of this negative light that I keep hearing? Well,
I think the issue is it's the negative light right now. And because for all the good that's being done with the NFL in the community, and I can go back to my time in the league with Philadelphia and Kansas City, guys want to make a change happen, whether it's themselves, whether it's through the NFL, whether it's through whatever team they're a part of. There's a lot of good stuff going on, but the problem is when you have all this negativity, of course, the first thing, if a normal person walking down the street, they grab a piece of paper, then negativity is going to be on the front page. The good stuff's going to be on page 3 or 4.
That's right.
So you assume then as a person who's a fan of the NFL that it's all negative. All this bad stuff's going on, and the NFL's bad, and the owners are bad, and Goodell's bad, and just bad. But open to page 3 or 4, and you'll see the stuff going on in the community, the guys helping out, and the NFL helping out, Goodell doing stuff. So that's the problem, is what the media decides to portray and focus on. So if we stop focusing on the past and what happened with Kaepernick and the kneeling, and focus on what the steps have been done to make this better, because I think there's been a ton of great stuff going on. There is a ton of great stuff going on. I think today's
there's conversations going on.
Yes, I think we're breaking through in a lot of areas, and it's good stuff.
Yes.
We need to focus on that more.
You're right.
And I think we can do that if everyone jumps on board and stops talking about the past.
Well, here's the problem. There's guys, namely Eric Reed, who keep focusing on the past. I want to read directly from his Twitter account. This is Eric Reed after this partnership between Roc Nation and the NFL was announced yesterday. It was actually leaked yesterday. The press conference was today. He says, quote, "You and some others seem to misunderstand that we had no beef with the NFL until they started perpetuating the systematic oppression that we were fighting by blackballing Colin and then me." That doesn't make sense, but whatever. "No, I won't quit playing, but I will be a royal pain in the NFL's ass for acting like they care about people of color by forming numerous disingenuous partnerships to address social injustice while collectively blackballing Colin, the person who brought oppression and social injustice to the forefront of the NFL platform." Now, the problem I have with Eric Reed here, I get that he's emotional about this, and he had to sit out a year, and he felt like the NFL didn't want him specifically because he took a knee. Yep. My problem with this is that it's putting any kind of progress that the NFL would want to do, or anyone associated with the NFL, like Roc Nation, in the context of Colin Kaepernick, right? Like, so without Colin Kaepernick involved, so on Eric Reed's terms, on Colin Kaepernick's terms, that nobody can do anything good, and that's just not the case, right? Just because it doesn't fit what you specifically want, which is giving Colin Kaepernick a job, doesn't mean that good things aren't happening. And that's my problem. We're losing the fact that progress has been made in a lot of places.
And we're discussing these comments and Kaepernick and his, him not being picked up by a team. There's a lot of reasons why Colin Kaepernick is not on a football team. One is we know distractions are awful in an NFL locker room.
No doubt about it.
And we go back to what we've talked about all week.
That's right.
With the receiver out there, Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown, yeah.
John Gruden doesn't want to deal with distractions. No NFL coach wants to deal with distractions. You don't want to be talking with the media about a certain player every single week. It's tough. So it's not just one issue why Colin Kaepernick is not in the NFL.
Yeah.
But once again, the headline is going to be what Reed said. And that's my big issue is the headline should be NFL and Roc Nation are working together to better this country, to better programs within the cities. But that won't be it. It's going to be Eric Reed's not happy with what's going on with the NFL and Roc Nation.
Yeah,
so it's going to be negative when it should be a positive. And that's what we have to keep fighting.
So one of the questions I asked was, how are you going to measure success? And it's really hard to measure success of a social initiative like this. Now, you could go look at the social media mentions and the social media interactions. But later on in the press conference, he started talking about J.J. Watt's initiative to help out the victims of the flood down in Houston, and how it started as just like really small. I want to raise $1 million, and what was the total number that he raised at the end of it? I think it was like 30-something million, or maybe even more than that. It was an enormous social, positive, and what Jay